something about, I don't know, the way you can disconnect from everything else going on and all the hustle and bustle, and you just come out here and all of it doesn't matter anymore. Every time I get off work, like, there's just so much stress and anxiety, and like it follows you home. But when you come out here, I don't know, you forget about all of it. Like, I haven't thought about work in days, and man, that feels great.
Oh, now you grew up here, right? You were born in Colorado?
I was not born in Colorado, but I did grow up here since I was 5. I was born in Orlando, Florida. Mm-hmm. We lived in Vegas for the first 4 years of my life. We lived 1 or 2 years, I can't remember because I was very young. We lived 1 or 2 years in the city, and then they moved up to the mountain there, Mount Charleston, and we did forestry volunteer work for a few years.
Oh, cool.
So when I was growing up, we were raised in a fifth wheel pull behind trailer, and we moved here to Colorado with what we had pulled behind our vehicle, basically, and that's how we survived for the first couple of years until we kind of established in Colorado. So
dude, that's awesome. I didn't know that backstory.
Yeah, so that's
cool.
kind of how I got into this. Honestly, I was born around forestry and kind of just being in the outdoors, so it's kind of my nature to go back to it, I guess, because as mentioned, like, society does its thing, but it's really nice to come out here and just unwind. My name's Leo. I live in Buena Vista. I've been here since I was 5 years old. Started a few years ago in a 95 Taco, and the passion just slowly grew over time. I'm now in a 2005 Toyota Tundra. The reason was because the bedding is slightly deeper. It's 6 inches deeper on the Tundra versus the Tacoma beds. So it allowed me to build the platform out and be able to store my gear underneath and still utilize having a bed on top.
That's awesome. There's so much room in there.
Yeah.
What do you have in the fridge? Is the storage over there be in the fridge? Like, that's ever in the back areas? Like, I see there's an open area. Where
yeah, it's just a little open area so I can kick my feet off the bed and stuff when it's closed. In the morning, it's kind of nice to hang off the bed without having to fully open up.
Definitely.
And I was able to build it with enough room that I can.
And you're pretty tall, so you're 6'3"?
Yeah, I'm about 6'1", I think, last time I checked. Okay. 230 pounds, big dude. But fitting here pretty well. 6-foot bed, so I can stretch out pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. That's nice. And with all the reflectix up too, it's probably nice and dark in here in the morning.
Oh, it's awesome, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I got the reflectix going, so that way that just kind of hammers down at night and blocks out the sun.
It's a good idea to do that. That way you still have your pass-through that you can have access to.
Yeah.
It makes it convenient.
The ultimate plan is eventually I'd like to figure out a nice boot system so that way I can eliminate the front window.
Yeah.
And on the Tundra, it's a full-size rear window, so I can roll the entire rear window down and have a full boot, so that way I can crawl through to the back seat.
Yeah, I bet you could with those ones that I've seen them doing. Like, they're retrofitting the Sun Raiders onto newer style Tacomas, like the first-gen Tacomas. And I saw there's like an accordion thing you can get that's a gasket.
There's different styles. I've seen some people even using bike tubes and stuff, and I don't know how effective it is.
Yeah, I don't know about bike tubes.
Yeah,
I want something a little bit more legit.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen some people even use pool noodles, and it's like, well, you just kind of jam them into place once you get to where you're at.
Yeah.
But I'd like to find something that's a little more permanent, so that way I can take the windows out and just rock it as a pass-through 24/7, basically.
That'd be nice. Now, what size of fridge do you have here?
So this is the Snowmaster 56D. It is 56 quarts. It is a dual compartment fridge freezer.
Nice.
So you can set it all fridge, all freezer. You can set one side to freezer, one side to fridge. Got all my snackums in there.
Cool.
Both sides come with lights.
What's your energy draw on that?
At max draw, it's like, I think 60 watts.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
So I have a 100-watt solar panel on the roof that brings in sun during the daytime, so it just trickle charges enough power for the fridge all the time. And the fridge slide also has a cutting board, so I can
That's awesome.
bring this all the way out here.
I like that because this makes it like a U, and you got like your food over here and a cutting board, so it's kind of like a kitchen.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you got your cooking station
you
over
pull
here.
Your stuff straight out of the fridge, chop it here,
Yeah.
cook behind you. Most people too, they mount the fridge on the floor, and it's better for the center of gravity and the weight, but I mounted mine up higher because then I can still access stuff underneath the fridge.
Yeah.
And if I got the fridge pulled out, I can still like have plates down here, like prepping food and getting stuff ready. And it just allows me more counter space than if it was mounted down here. I'd lose half the tailgate.
Yeah. And, you know, that's something that a lot of people don't think about, but when you're out here and you do it enough, you realize you're like, just having this little amount of space, you know, adding that to any of your cooking endeavors, it's just extra room.
Yeah.
That it makes things
counter space is so key.
Oh, it makes it more convenient, yeah. Because you guess, I mean, we all have so many gadgets and gear, even those of us that roll minimal. And it's like if we set it all out on our tailgate, it's it's packed. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Now for your swing out here, you've got this is the Brute Force.
Yep. So this
bumper.
is Brute Force Fabrications out of California. I run Brute Force front, rear, and sliders. This came with the tire, the dual jerry can, and the drop-down table. I end up making this water jerry with a little spout from Amazon just for like $6, so that way I have a kitchen sink right here by the kitchen, which is nice. It swings the water out so it's away from your truck, but you still have your sink so you can wash up and do everything pretty conveniently.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to getting that on my truck, man.
Yeah, it is so handy having the drop table. That is one of the most things I utilize on this truck. I drop into place, and it's just, like you say, it's so nice having the extra counter space. You can never have enough countertop on camp trips.
Yeah, that's true. Well, cool. Let's walk around, and like I took some video of your sliders, but I didn't get any of your front bumper here. And also you got the snorkel on there, which is awesome. And then I forgot that you put the light bar on the front. So what, what all do you have up front here? Because you got a bunch of different things.
So my front bumper consists of a 12,000 pound winch. I got a 20-inch light bar here for just winch activity, makes it a little easier. My license plate's on a bracket system, so I can just pull that right off, access my winch really quickly. I do a lot of 4x4 recovery stuff, so I dig into the gear a lot more often than I'd like to.
Yeah.
I got white and amber flashers in the bumper for when I'm on recoveries, just for more visibility so people can see me while I'm pulling vehicles down. High lift, which is one of the most important things to have if you're an overlander or out here by yourself, especially because if you get high centered or something, this will save you 80-90% of the time if you're by yourself. So very handy piece of equipment for sure. I run the 52-inch curve bar up top there for when we're out in the dark. It just lights up the path up there so you can see everything really well.
Yeah.
And I matted the hood because when I first put that light bar up there was so much hood glare, and I never realized why people blacked their hoods out with this flat black. And it is to eliminate that hood glare when you run a roof light.
Ah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I never knew that until I actually ran a roof bar, and I was like, oh, so that's why everyone's doing these black. It's not because of a style, it's actually for function. So
yeah, that's interesting. I learned something new today. That's awesome. Yeah. Now for your roof rack, you had mentioned you've got what, 100-watt panel up here on the roof?
I got the Renogy 100-watt solar, just like same panel you're running.
Yeah.
I have a shovel up there, and then my Max Trax for snow and mud recoveries.
And then what the lights here? What are those as far as the side lights?
I don't remember the exact lumens, but they're just like 180-degree throw. They're specifically for side flood, so that way you can just like spread a 180-degree light on the sides there, and it's just really handy for getting that side angle when you need it, especially on night recoveries.
Cool. Well, nice, man. And then so for the topper, you've actually got the high rise.
Yes, that was another thing that I really wanted to. I looked for months and couldn't find a high rise topper. Everything I found was the cab high. And as mentioned, because my bed is 6 inches deeper, I wanted the 6-inch taller topper because it gives me a foot more living space in there, so that way I can have the platform bed set up and still be able to sit up. And
yeah, huge
difference. It's really handy having that extra space for sure.
Yeah, which brand did you go with?
This is the ARE
MX
high rise, I believe it was. I like I said, I looked for months and I couldn't find one, so I ended up just ordering this one, brand new.
They're expensive, dude. Brand new. Those are. I swear that's like a racket. It's like the mafia owns that.
$2,000 topper.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy.
It is like the key ingredient to this truck camping setup. So like, if you don't have a topper, then none of the other stuff in the back functions very well. So had to start here for sure, and this was a big part of it, and really helps for sure. And
then you've done something unique with your Slumberjack that a lot of people don't do. Most people just hanging off the back, but you've chosen to do yours. You got some straps off the roof rack here, and then also in the front part to where you can tie it off and secure it. And
these literally just run down here and hook onto the frame with a carabiner. Most people, what they do is they'll start the Slumberjack off right here at the back of their rig, and they'll take those hooks and they go in through the tires here. That's how you see it advertised. But it was so much real estate. Anytime I'd set it up, you had to have like almost 30 feet behind you of clear space just to set that up.
And that's very rare.
So it's just like as a single truck camper, most of the time you're in tight confined spaces, and it was really hard to set it up with that much real estate in the back. So I finally came to this idea where if I just slide it 6 feet, attach it to the roof rack and do this setup, it hides the windows, so it gives you that privacy,
and yet you can still get airflow, which is great. Because like, man, I tell you what, when it gets humid, and if it's like 70 degrees and raining, people are like, oh, that's pleasant. It's not in a little topper.
Absolutely,
it gets warm, and man, it's just uncomfortable.
You got to have a fan in there for sure. And it's like, as you mentioned, it's so nice to be able to open up those windows and you still got your privacy and nobody can see in.
Oh, I forgot to mention this table here. This is cool.
Oh yeah, the tailgater tire table. Man, this thing has been around with me for a few seasons now, and I used to put my big 50-quart Yeti cooler on there with my 5-gallon water. Like, this thing will hold some weight.
That's awesome, man.
It does really well. I'm pretty impressed.
So the tailgater tire table. That's awesome. I'll have to get one. It's nice because it just breaks down to nothing, and so it's just flat.
And most of the time you bring those lifetime tables out here or whatever, and it rains, you get full of water on the table, you got to wipe it down. This is all mesh, so there's no water buildup or anything. It just runs right off.
I like it. Like it a lot. Well, cool, man. Well, anything else about your truck that you want to mention that we didn't cover? I mean, do you want to talk about your suspension or anything? I mean, is that because you basically have the suspension that's like good all around for overlanding? Nothing special, nothing specialized.
Nothing special. There's definitely a lot nicer suspensions out there, and I'd like to upgrade to like a Fox dual coilover or something. But as of right now, I'm just running a Toytech 3-inch coilover with some 33-inch BFGs. That typically gets me up and down most of the trails here in Colorado pretty efficiently. As long as you got a couple inches of lift and 33-inch tires, you can do a lot in here in Colorado. So
that's what I tell people. Like, people are like, oh, you got to get crazy rig. I'm like, no, you don't.
Everyone wants bigger tires. Everyone wants 35s, and then they want 37s. It just keeps going. I mean,
and then all that really happens really is you're like, okay, you can maybe do like 1 or 2 more trails in your area, and your gas mileage sucks. And then people start wondering what you're compensating for.
No, absolutely.
Anyway, well, cool, man. Well, thanks for letting us take a look at your rig here. Like I've always said, man, I'm super impressed with the way you've done your setup, and this will probably be the next route that I go once the Tacoma dies.
Oh, that's awesome. No, first gen Tundra is a great rig. I have nothing but compliments about it. So if you're looking for an awesome pickup truck to go camping with, recommend looking at a first gen Tundra, double cab in particular, 0506.
Nice. All right, thanks everybody. All right, so I'm sitting here with Leo. We just got done with the walk around, and now we're going to do a few questions for interview portion of the video here. So I wanted to ask you, I noticed that you go truck camping like every opportunity that you get some free time. You either go, ride with a couple guys, or you ride the troops and get a big group together. But what is it about being out here that keeps you coming back?
Something about, I don't know, it just, the way you can disconnect from everything else going on and all the hustle and bustle, and you just come out here and all of it doesn't matter anymore. Every time I get off work, like, there's just so much stress and anxiety, and like it follows you home. But when you come out here, you forget about all of it. Like, I haven't thought about work in days, and man, that feels great, So that's a big thing for me, is like the stress relief, and like just being able to kind of center my balance again and stuff, and get back to connecting with myself, because sometimes you lose connection because of everything else going on, all the distractions.
Definitely. No,
So-
I totally agree with that. And that's what I tell people, because a lot of people ask me what I like about it. And I was like, it's almost like, you know, like that centering that you were talking about. You know, it's hard to do that when you're so busy with like the 9 to 5, because you're just blowing and going all day long. And it's like, you don't have any time to stop and think like, am I doing good right now? Like a self-check. So coming out here, it's like, what better environment to do that in? It's
Absolutely.
Like, it almost comes naturally, you know?
Yeah, like you said it, you focus on yourself again, and it's nothing better than, you know, paying attention to number one, because when you're at a job, you know, you're focused on like pleasing other people and doing this and that, you know, it's part of the everyday hustle and bustle. But out here, and you come, and I don't know, it's a great way to disconnect but reconnect, is the best way I can say it, you know.
That's awesome, man. Out of all the areas that you've been to, without giving specific locations, but out of all the areas that you've been to, like, what's your most favorite terrain to do this type of truck camping?
I'm very fond of the Uray area, just because of all the waterfalls and the water crossings, the vegetation over there, just the color contrast, because it's so lush and green, and the red rocks, like it's just really, really beautiful over there. And the terrain over there, you can go up and down in elevation so quickly on those passes and stuff. So it's a really cool area to go explore pickups and whatnot.